The author of the anti-Trump insider account of the White House, the anonymous official, is now out with a book, a warning, and there's a lot in it that Donald Trump is not going to like. So first of all, it is, as I said, anonymous. It was anonymous when it was an editorial. This person is not unmasking himself or herself now, but this person explains why, saying, I have decided to publish this anonymously because this debate is not about me, it is about us. It is about how we want the presidency to reflect our country, and that is where the discussion should center. Some will call this cowardice. My feelings are not hurt by the accusation, nor am I unprepared to attach my name to criticism of President Trump. I may do so in due course. We have a lot of crazy stuff we're gonna launch into for just a minute, but do you think that it might have been more effective or more powerful if we knew who it was?
I think perhaps the due course is right now when it would make a difference.
Or a year ago?
Or, like we're literally in the middle of impeachment. I don't know if this person, as he's wobbly,
or she,
no, I'm saying as Trump is wobbly.
He. Okay,
yeah. That he or she, who's anonymous, Kellyanne Conway. Anyway, I don't know. Would deliver the knockout blow. Okay, that's all fair. But if you wait till after Trump is gone and go, ta-da, in due course, now I collected all the money, now I'd like to get credit for criticizing him, but I didn't do it publicly when it mattered. You will get no credit. In fact, you'll get the exact opposite. No, you did hide like a coward if you come out after Trump is already gone.
Yeah. I just don't know how in this day and age, this person, it's one thing to be like, I'm gonna write an op-ed piece and then go, okay, I'm not telling anybody. Then to write a book, I'm like, how do you get, how does that even happen that we don't find out who it is in this day and age? Maybe you've ever sent an email and one person that wasn't supposed to be on there was on there. You're like, oh no, I gotta pull it back, or a text or something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's gotta be this person is either living in the most heightened level of security and paranoia you can imagine, or there's, it's bound to come out. It's got to come out. There's got to be some, because if I tell you, they got to deliver the paperwork to somebody.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to tell your publisher. So now you both know.
Yeah.
And you might be at a dinner one time, a little boozed up. No offense, but then what I'm trying to say is I don't know how they're getting away with a whole book out under anonymous, because then what that's letting the White House do is this, what's her name, the press secretary, Stephanie whatever. Grisham is saying, oh, exactly, coward, and it's all made up, and you gotta, get your fact check and blah, blah, blah. But if we knew who it was, if it were Mattis, or if it were Pence, or who, I know the joke being Melania, like you said, whoever it is, then it's like, okay, now we're face to face and we gotta test their credibility.
Well, I would have released my identity, but maybe they're worried that it'll affect the voting for Dancing with the Stars. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Anyway,
I do want to say one last thing about that, guys. Look, how do you not know who it is if you're Trump? Because now, to your point, it's a book, right? It's not just one op-ed. So that person had to be in all of those different meetings, and you can't figure out who it is. The person
wouldn't he have to read it though?
Exactly. The person who wrote this book knows that Trump is so stupid, he still won't be able to figure it out.
No, he won't. So let's figure out what can we learn from this official. He says the author describes Trump careening from one self-inflicted crisis to the next like a 12-year-old in an air traffic control tower, pushing the buttons of government indiscriminately, indifferent to the planes skidding across the runway and the flights frantically diverting away from the airport, which corroborates what we've seen, but that was an inside view of him doing that, not understanding. And by the way, you can find out more by reading the book, but also even just from the descriptions, goes more into depth about the fact that he has no idea what different government officials, what job they have. So he tells the Secretary of Defense to do stuff that the Secretary of State is supposed to do. For a lot of things, he just tells Jared Kushner to do it. He tells the AG to do things that the head of the FBI is supposed to do. He honestly doesn't know, and despite his assurances before his election, he refuses to learn. And that is why it's difficult for him to respond to crises, because he has no idea who he's supposed to actually coordinate with.
So that's why you hear him in the Ukraine call in the semi-transcript that was released saying, William Barr will reach out to you and Giuliani. Wait, Giuliani is your personal lawyer. What does he have to do with the government? And Barr is the attorney general. What the hell does he have to do with Ukraine? No, if anybody were to reach out on official state business, it'd be the State Department. But he doesn't know anything. He's like, I don't know, I'm gonna pick random names out of a hat and they'll reach out to you. And Barr, when he saw that, he's like, what did you do? Why did you tell him I would reach out?
Yeah.
So, and now, at least with that sentence, it's not anyone in the Trump family.
But you know what they do?
Because that sentence was way too sophisticated for any Trump to write.
You know what they do again is the support he gets, and he said this in the election, and I talked about this in my stand-up special where I said it's the one place where you go, I want an outsider, I'm an outsider, you want an outsider to go in there and clean it up. But no, we don't want an outsider. We want somebody who does know how government works. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe some level of outsiderness, but to be this guy who has been living in, the best example I can think of Trump is he's our Muammar Gaddafi. He has lived in this world where he's just been having yes people around him forever. Muammar Gaddafi got to the point where he had these, he'd be like, I want a hot woman guard with a bazooka guarding me. And he had all these women and like a gold airplane guarding him. That's what Trump has kind of grown up with from the time he had yes men his whole life. And now we're like, go to the White House and go run this country. And as you said, he's telling the guy who's like, the Department of Agriculture to go do the defense thing. And Mike Giuliani's gonna get in touch and my assistant will call you. He has no idea what he's doing. And no, we don't want an outsider. We want somebody, you know how stressful it is? Because every day I wake up waiting for that headline to say he left, just so I can breathe, whether you like him or not. It's like we're walking on eggshells. I heard Mark Maron talk about this. He said when Obama was in power, he goes, I didn't really know what was going on, but I felt like it was in good hands. But now you feel like at any moment, anything could happen, and it is. And you see the inside this book telling you. And the problem is this book, when you read some of the stuff the guy's talking about, you go, this sounds about right. This sounds like, you're not doubting it. You're not going like, no, he's making it up.
Yeah.
Or I used to say, sorry, I'm ranting here a little bit. I'm getting inspired by you, Jay. No, when the thing happened, remember when the in Hawaii, they said that there's bombs coming from Korea and they had the bomb threat and everyone was freaked out. And I thought to myself, I go, my God, we're living in this era right now where with this current president, I believed that North Korea was bombing us because he said something at some point.
Yeah.
You don't think and go, no, it's a false alarm. You go, it could be happening because this guy could have said something. So that's what you get when you get an outsider to go in and do the most important job in the world.
With an IQ of approximately 42.
The missiles are in the air and his response is, dear God. Someone wake up Ben Carson. No, that's not, not him, you idiot. Anyway, okay, so in response to finding out, I believe this was in response to judges initially striking down the Muslim ban that he tried to put into effect. He apparently was quoted as saying, can we just get rid of the judges? Let's get rid of the expletive judges. There shouldn't be any at all, really.
There shouldn't be any judges at all, really. Okay, I mean, look, if you still support the guy, whatever, there's nothing I can do to help you and you don't understand America at all and you'd love to live in a tyrannical government.
Yeah.
There are no judges, how do you have any law? He said he was a party of rule of law and law and order. How do you have law and order without any judges? Guy's a total unbelievable moron and a criminal. You know who doesn't like judges? Criminals.
Yeah. So sort of related, has to do with discrimination. The author alleges that Trump attempted a Hispanic accent during an Oval Office meeting to complain about migrants crossing the US-Mexico border. Trump was quoted as saying, quote, we get these women coming in with like 7 children. They're saying, oh, please help, my husband left me. They're useless. They don't do anything for our country. At least if they came in with a husband, we could put him in the fields to pick corn or something.
So was the Spanish accent when he said, oh, please help me, my husband left me? Is that when he did a bad?
I'm assuming the whole thing, I don't know.
So guys, look, the bad accent, to Maz's earlier point, no one's surprised. And that wouldn't even make news at all.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're useless. If you are a Latino mom, he finds you useless. The only way that he would find you useful is if he could use your husband to pick corn.
Wow. Yes, now in terms of what might have happened to radically change the face of government, the anonymous author provides 2 things that came close to happening but didn't. One was senior Trump administration officials considered resigning en masse last year in a midnight self-massacre to sound a public alarm about President Trump's conduct, but rejected the idea because they believed it would further destabilize an already teetering government.
Yeah, look, what you're supposed to do when you have a mentally unstable and incompetent president, I don't mean incompetent overall. We've had, unfortunately, several incompetent presidents, including George W. Bush, who now is feeling like he's on top of the world because he's cleared the lowest bar in history. But what you're supposed to do is when the president is mentally incompetent, incapable of holding the office and executing his duties, we have something in the Constitution for that. It's called the 25th Amendment. You convene the cabinet and you say, yeah, the president is mentally damaged, so let's do something. You don't just, like, there's a method for this, and you really should. They should have done it from the get-go when they all realized, every one of them knows it. And now they're out of the administration, and you see your Mattis, you hear his former chief of staff, John Kelly, talking about like, well, John Kelly said, I'm worried that I shouldn't have resigned because I knew he'd get impeached if I resigned. Why? Because he's obviously a criminal and somebody has to stop him from being a criminal. And he's obviously mentally incompetent and everyone around him is a yes man. And so everybody knows this. Everybody who works with Trump knows that you're all following a madman, okay? The only people who don't know are the idiots in the red hats. So the Republican Party knows it. They're worried about the guys in the red hats and they're worried about losing their own seats. But we all know he's a lunatic and an idiot and all of these horrible things. But but the comment about Latina woman coming in, just as when you think you can't get any lower, you're useless. You're useless. And well, your husband could be useful if he was a servant of ours. God damn it. And if you support him after hearing that, and then don't get surprised when we say you're racist. They're like, oh, I can't believe you called me racist. I think the only thing that Latinos are good for is picking corn, otherwise they're useless. Okay, if that's not racist, what the hell is? So it's not just him, it's his supporters that are the problem because they enjoy following this maniac.
But also it goes deeper because it's not just him denigrating these people, it's the fact that we need immigrants in this country and we're losing, because he keeps saying, I want the best and the brightest. As an Iranian American, I know for a fact, because of the travel ban, a lot of very smart Iranian students in Iran who've been accepted to top universities here have had their visas revoked and not been allowed to come here because he's playing politics. And the same thing goes for people that are trying to come here through asylum. We need those people, and instead of coming here, they're gonna end up in Canada and Europe and other places. So even if you're defending him on the other side and go like, yeah, we want the best and the brightest, or they should come here and do some work and whatever, they do come here and do work. They do come here and add to the economy. We need them in the economy. This dude is crippling us in the future with what he does, and they keep going to things like his son saying things like, the economy's good and the numbers are better, and therefore, I know he's got kind of a crude mouth sometimes. How far are we willing to go? How far are you willing to give up your own integrity to say that the economy's good? Which, by the way, that's debatable as well. What caused the economy to be as good as it is? Is it as good as it is? We're not sure. Are people getting the benefits that they were supposed to? We don't know. But how low are we willing to go? How many people are we willing to put in cages? How many times are we willing to denigrate families that are trying to come here for a better life because you think that your stock prices are a little bit higher?
Yeah.
By the way, you say that about Iranian immigrants, and I guarantee you the MAGA guys watching are like, I don't care how smart they are. I'm glad they're not coming. They're from Iran, and then they don't get that that's a racist thing to say.
Yeah.
Like they literally don't understand that. How could they help our economy? They're from Iran, man. Nobody from the Middle East is gonna help our economy. Well, there was an immigrant who had a son here. He was from Syria. Ugh, Syria. His son's name is Steve Jobs. Wound up helping the economy a little bit. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.